This video is for you if you have trouble receiving help, support from other people providing for you. If you just have trouble generally receiving people's help, people are offering to help you, it's just hard for you to say yes to that. So in this video, I'm going to share 3 reasons why you have such a hard time receiving support, love, help from other people, based on like what I have learned about my own psychology. Everything that I share on this channel comes from my own transformation and reflections about myself. And before I go into the 3 reasons, you can skip that if you want to, but I do want to share a little story of like how this kind of came about. So I am in the middle of moving, and I just moved from one apartment to another apartment, and it's very stressful. Moving is very stressful. And I had a few friends offer to help move. And I originally wanted to hire movers, and I was really adamant about that because I didn't want to inconvenience anyone with the move. Like, moving is the worst thing on earth, and I don't want my friends to have to go through such a freaking burden. So I wanted to hire movers, but I ended up just having my friends help me, and I ended up like paying them anyway. Even though they didn't want money, I was like, I'm still gonna pay you. And then right after I moved, 2 days later, I fucking got sick. Like, I literally got sick, and I still had to like go back to my old apartment and clean it, you know how you have to do that. And I had a very short window of like cleaning that apartment and handing in my keys. And so I literally got sick right after my move, and I was unable to clean my apartment. And one of my friends, one of the friends that offered to help me move as well, which she did, she offered to help to clean my apartment because, she said it for her, cleaning is therapeutic. It's fun for her. Like, it's not that big of a deal, whatever. She tried to make me feel good about it. And I kept declining. She kept offering to help me even before I got sick. And I said, no, it's fine. Like, you already helped me move. Like, I got it. She's like, I love cleaning. I'm like, no, it's fine. And then I got sick, and I asked her, I was like, can you by chance help me Monday, to help? She's like, oh, I work Monday. And then she's like, but why don't I just go there by myself, and just get whatever done? And I'm like, oh my God. And so I actually like accepted that help, but she was just like offering more than I even needed. She was offering to help to clean the whole thing. And I was like, no, just get the oven and the fridge, maybe the bathtub if you can, and then I'll do the rest or whatever. But she was just like so willing and so giving and just wanting to help and just wanting to clean the whole apartment that I had a really hard time accepting. And then she sent me like a little voice message saying that like, hey, like I had a friend when I was moving 2 weeks ago, by the way, she also was moving. So she was in the middle of this shit too. So I was like, I don't want to inconvenience her like that. Anyway, she was like, I had one of my friends come over and help, me clean my apartment. And it was really hard for me to receive that help as well. But I just realized that, it wasn't a big deal for her. Like, it wasn't a big deal, to accept that help. And she wanted to help, and that was it. And it's like, I know you feel the same way right now. It's uncomfortable for you, but I want to help you. And that's what friends are for, is to help each other. So like that message is what inspired this video, because I tuned into myself and I'm like, why do I have such trouble receiving help? And this isn't just like for now with the move. It's like overall in my life. I do have trouble receiving help, and I am very independent, and I don't want other people to help me. I'm like, I got it. Like, I can do it myself, but sometimes like I can't, and I do need help. And then when people offer me that help, I feel like I owe them something, or I feel like, so I tuned in and I said, why do I have such a hard time receiving help from other people? Where is this coming from? I'm sure it'll relate to other people as well. So I'm going to frame it in the way of like, this is how you feel because I'm talking to you, but this is coming from my own realizations. So the first reason that you might feel uncomfortable with receiving help from other people is that you think that it's transactional. So you have this idea that if somebody helps you, either that they're doing it because they want something back, that it's not genuine, or that at some point in your future you're going to have to repay this favor. And perhaps you feel overwhelmed with that idea because you're like, I'm already so busy, I already have so much going on. What if I can't repay at the time that they need me? What if I can't give to them when they need me? And then so you start to feel overwhelmed. So you're like, I'd rather just not accept help and do it myself, because you think that they want something back. And the other reason regarding this is that you don't believe that they just want to help you because they love you and they care about you. Like, there's some, like, the fact that you think that help is transactional. Like, you think that when somebody gives you something that you immediately have to give something back, and that's like exactly the mindset that gets you stuck and unable to receive. And just accepting that there's people in our lives that love us and genuinely want the best for us, and they genuinely are just here to help us without wanting anything back. And I'll go into this in point 3, but like a little bit in more detail. But people, it's not a burden for people to help you. Like, if they're offering their help and they're saying like, hey, I have the resources, or I have the time, or I have the energy, or I have the motivation, I want to help you, it's like, accept that and believe that it's not a burden for them, and it's not an inconvenience for them to help you. And I think this also relates back to like trust issues with people, that like, you don't trust that people are actually good. You don't trust that people are not selfish in that way and like secretly, you know, going to use this against you in some future moment and like try to get something out of you. And of course, like, again, like, it's up to you to give back to this person. Like, that's not the point, is that you're not going to give back to them. Like, of course you probably are in some way, but the point is that they don't want anything from you. They don't want anything from this. They are doing this from the goodness of their heart. And sometimes it's hard for us to accept and believe that there's people like that in our lives. And the second part to that is that there's self-worth issues around that. It's like, you don't think that you're worthy enough to receive help from other people. You don't think that you're important enough or special enough for somebody to just dedicate their free time and energy to helping you for no other reason than to help you, because they think you're valuable enough to help. Okay, so sometimes we just don't think of ourselves as that valuable, and so we can't believe or fathom this idea that somebody just wants to help because we're valuable. And most likely this stems from childhood, when your, you know, parents, you know, was, again, we'll go into this in point 3, but when it felt like you were a burden for them to provide for you or to meet your needs. And so you felt like you're not good enough. You're not enough to get your needs met by your caretakers, because obviously they're too busy or they're not available or whatever. So I just want to bring awareness to this for you and for myself, that like, this is coming from a flawed perspective on how we view relationships and love and just like people in general. So receiving help from other people, you know, if you don't view it as a transactional thing, you view it as like, some people just have it in them to want to give to you and provide for you because they care about you, or it's something that they want to do. It's something that they desire to do from the goodness of their own heart, and that they view you as somebody that is valuable and special enough to be given to. If you can just sit with that and feel what that feels like, you know, with that feeling of, I am valuable, I am worthy enough for someone to give to me without me having to necessarily give something back in that particular moment or in that particular way, or really period at all, you know, if you can't. So that's something to sit with. Okay, so the second reason that I realized that it's really hard to receive love or help from other people is because you don't want to come off as somebody who's needy or entitled or like a taker. So if you accept help from another person, then you have this idea that now they're going to view you as somebody who's, oh, they're just taking, and I'm just over here giving, and they're just, which is not actually what's happening. This is just our psychology, okay, because of some trauma. But you have this idea that you're going to come off needy, like you need so much, like you're so dependent, you're so codependent, or even like you're entitled, like, oh, now she, you know, she's asking for help and she's so entitled, she just thinks that everyone should just help her and she doesn't need to do anything. All of these negative perspectives that we loop in our minds that are not true. And essentially what it comes down to is a fear of abandonment, because you fear that if this person realizes that you're a taker and you're so needy and you're so entitled and you're just so selfish, taking all this help for yourself from this person, that one day you think that one day this person's going to wake up and realize that you are just this taker, this horrible person, and they're not going to help you anymore, and they're going to leave you. They're going to abandon you. They're going to lose interest in helping you or being your friend or being your partner or whatever, because you're just too much. You're too much. So there's a fear of being too much, needing too much, when you're really not needing a lot at all. Because if this is resonating with you, then you're most likely the type of person who's overly independent and does everything for themselves and doesn't really receive or accept help from others. So the small moments in life when somebody does give to you and you accept it, it's probably very minimal. And so for you to think and blow that up into this huge thing that like, oh my God, I'm this person that just like takes everything and I'm so needy, and this person's going to perceive me as so needy, and now they're going to leave me because they don't like that trait about me, because somewhere along the lines growing up you were told that you're too needy and it's too much and it's not a good trait to have. Okay, so a lot of this does go back to childhood, I think, and like trauma that was created like somewhere along the line. Like it has to. So then you feel kind of like obligated to make it transactional, right? So you're like, well, I don't want to come off as like this taker if this person is just like providing for me. And this could be with like partners, romantic partners and stuff, right? Like they're just wanting to pay for things and buy you things and provide for you, especially if you're a woman. And maybe as a woman, it's really hard for you to accept a man like that. And you're like, well, I'm not worthy of that. For one, like, why would they value me so much? And also like, they're gonna view me as somebody who just takes from them, and then so now I have to like make sure that I'm like giving back to them too, and make sure that they're being provided for in other ways, which is nice if it's coming out of your heart and like out of wanting to give and like an abundant energy, it's fine. But if it's coming out of fear, this lack energy that, oh my gosh, if I don't do this, they might realize and they might leave me, and I might be taking too much. And so you want to be careful with that, because it's okay to allow yourself to receive from these people without thinking that you're too needy, and without having to feel like immediately having to give back to this person. Like, give to them when you can and when you feel like you want to, and there's abundance flowing out of you to give in a certain way. A lot of times the way that somebody gives to us is not the way that they want to receive from us. Like, what you have to give in abundance is oftentimes what somebody needs the most. What they have to give in abundance is oftentimes the thing you need the most. And that's just a beautiful cycle and energetic flow of life, So you don't have to give back to them in the same way that they're giving to you, especially if you can't in that way. And the third reason that it might be hard for you to receive love, help, and support from other people is because there's a discomfort that you project onto the person that's giving to you, that it is uncomfortable for this person to give to you. It's an inconvenience for them. It's a huge sacrifice for them to help you, and you don't want them to feel that discomfort because of you. You don't want them to feel that discomfort and inconvenience because you don't think that they can handle it. You don't think that they're strong enough to handle it. And so you want to take on the responsibility and the burden of that instead, and be like, no, it's okay, I got it, because I can handle it, because I'm strong enough to handle it. You're not strong enough to handle it. I don't think you are. I don't think you have the emotional capacity, the physical capacity, the mental capacity, the financial capacity to help me. And I don't, like, it's almost like you want to remove the responsibility and the burden from the person that's trying to help you and take it on yourself. And I think this is like the deepest one, because this for sure goes back to childhood. Okay, I feel like this comes from parenting that we received when our parents did not have the space to give to us or to love us in the way that we needed. They were unavailable, or they just were too busy, or they didn't have the emotional maturity to respond to us in the ways that we needed. So we got the messaging that we are a burden, that, or even financially, like how many times did our parents complain, like, I don't have money for that, I can't give you that kind of money, like we can't afford that. So we project this idea onto others from our parents, that like people don't have the resources or enough to give to us and help us, and if they do, it's like somehow a burden or a sacrifice for them to do it. Okay, so this is one that's really real for me, is like, I feel like when people offer me help, like even with moving, and one of my friends was a man, okay? Like, men are strong, and they're strong, like they're stronger. He was stronger than me. He's stronger than me. So for me to be like, oh, but I don't want to inconvenience him in that way, and for him to have to lift all these heavy things, like I'd rather take on that burden and lift heavy. I'm 100 pounds, okay, 106 pounds. Like, no, it's okay. This person can handle the heavy lifting of furniture because they're built stronger, and they're not a crybaby about it. Like, they want to help, they want to do things, they want to be physical. Men want to help and be needed. And I just had to like change my perspective, that like, why am I pitying these people? Why am I putting them into this category that they are too weak to help me, and that this is somehow gonna like mess up their day or their life, and they're gonna like be weaker because of helping me, and so I'd rather take on the burden. There's a feeling that this person is not strong enough to handle that responsibility, or that they don't want to actually help you, you know? And so the mindset shift here is just seeing that for what it is, first of all, seeing that this probably comes from some sort of relationship that you had with your parents where like you were a burden, or you felt like you were a burden anytime that they gave to you. It was like you're too much. But also, like, when these people are actively offering help and it seems like they're willing, they're desiring, they're they feel happy about it, and like they have the resources to give to you, and they're even saying this isn't a big deal for me. Like, obviously when people offer help, it's like usually when it's something that they know that they can do or that they want to do, right? So it's just like accepting and just being with that, and being like, this person is strong enough to handle whatever it is that they're about to give to me, and they are doing it out of love, they're doing it out of abundance, and it's not a sacrifice for them. You have to sit with that discomfort, okay? Because I think that there's a discomfort that comes up when, well, for me at least, whenever somebody is giving to me or in the past has given to me, and I know that they have this in abundance, whatever they're giving. So let's say like an ex-boyfriend who was always paying for dinner. Every time we went out, like he would just pay for everything. Or even like dating, like men are picking up the check. And I'm starting to allow that to happen, and just to be like, it's okay, like they want to do this, they want to feel like they can provide. But it feels really uncomfortable to just, accept that kind of giving, and just, it feels uncomfortable because I think like, it's not even that I think they don't have enough to give. Where's the discomfort coming from? It's like I'm almost like absorbing their discomfort, but they don't feel uncomfortable. So I'm projecting this trauma that, like, let's say maybe I did feel the discomfort growing up of my parents who would complain that like, oh, I need something, or we don't have enough, there's lack and all of that stuff. And so now I'm just like projecting that feeling of discomfort that I felt my parents felt, and I took on as like, okay, I must be responsible. I'm just projecting that onto this person, assuming that they feel uncomfortable, and now I'm absorbing that discomfort and putting it on myself, if that makes sense. Let's just for a moment pause and pretend like we're never gonna give back to this person. Like, this person offered their help, they wanted to help in that moment, assuming it's not transactional and they're doing it because they love us or they care about us or because they want to, assuming that they don't think that you're needy and you're not fearing that they're gonna abandon you, and assuming that it's not a sacrifice for them to give to you. Okay, so like everything's clean, right? Like they just feel good about giving to you and you don't owe them anything. Just sit with that. Sit with that feeling. And whatever discomfort it brings up, that's the work, okay? That's what you have to just be with and see, what is that for you? Is it a self-worth issue? Is it a trust issue? Fear of abandonment issue? Like, what issue is coming up and rising up for you? And I would just meditate on that. I would journal on that. I would reflect on that. I would dive deep into that and try to understand and unravel and dissect where it could be coming from, and just seeing that it's not true, seeing that it's pretty irrational, and it's not real. It's not real, essentially. And I think that's how you start to break the pattern of allowing yourself to receive, and perhaps start small. Start small. Practice makes perfect. And I think the more that you do this, the more easy it's going to be to receive help, love, and support from others, but also from the universe as well, right? Because if we are in that open energy and we feel deserving of abundance, but we can't even receive it from the people, the closest people in our lives who are trying to help us, how are we going to receive abundance from the universe, from life, right? Like, how are you going to feel deserving of that if you don't address it within your most intimate one-on-one relationships? So that's your homework. That's my homework. I hope that this resonated for you in some way or helped you in some way. If you want to work with me one-on-one, I do tarot readings, so you can check out the links to that below. I wish you all the best. I'm sending you so much love. Receive my love, and I'll see you in my next video.